Nifty hit another record high for the second day running. Markets have recorded 8% gains in the month of December, the biggest gain in a series in nearly 3 years.
JSW Steel is planning 1 lakh crore rupees in additional capex by the end of this decade. NTPC plans to increase capex by 30 to 40%.
Public sector companies continue to rally. The Nifty PSE index is up another 2% today. The index has gained more than 80% this year, and we're not done yet. Hello and welcome to a fresh new edition of Markets Forward, the show where we try and get you all of the data and insight that you need as you gear up for another trading session tomorrow. What a week and what a year we've been having. I'm Prashant Nair. With me, my colleague Surabhi Upadhyay. Surabhi, hi.
Hi, Prashant. Bulls charge ahead this year, this month, this week. It's the same story. In fact, we'll tell you all about it as we go forward. And, of course, we will keep you covered over the next 20 minutes with respect to all the big news points and the key developments on the street today, top corporate voices and events to track ahead. But let's kick it off with, what else? Another 150 points up on the index.
You know, you could take what I said yesterday and put it here.
Just change the numbers and the figures.
Absolutely. I think it's a new high, right? I mean, what else? Nifty, Bank Nifty, both making new highs once again. And the rally continues. Momentum is hot. And actually, it's, if anything, gotten hotter. So mid and small caps are also, they were, yesterday we were highlighting how the mid and small cap indices are not at highs. They're still not at previous highs, but they're very close. I mean, I guess a matter of a day or two. PSU stocks rage on, and actually the top 10 NSE, across the NSE, the top 10 volume-led gainers, large gainers, are the public sector sort of stocks, across, but just not banks or defense or contractors or finance companies. It's a plethora of names, really. Yesterday, same time, I was wondering whether yesterday's 200 Nifty point rally would be backed by strong institutional flows, and later we got that 2,000 crore number, actually not 2,000, almost 3,000 crore number from FIIs. What will be the number today? Something to sort of watch out for, because it's a strong rally today as well. And of course, from a global market perspective, the big market, the US market, will that also make a new high later tonight? And I think the S&P will be in focus when we come back tomorrow morning. Surabhi.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's see if we keep getting those positive cues that we are waking up to almost on a daily basis from the global market standpoint. Today, Asian markets are very strong, by the way. We had big gains. Hong Kong, for instance, was up 2.5%. Kospi was up. Australian markets were up. And even Europe was trending higher by the time we closed out. So the narrative seems to be overall quite positive. We talk about the levels for today. Intraday, the Nifty hit another record high. 21,800 was actually conquered. The close was just below that, 21,778 to be precise. And there was participation, uniform participation, mid-caps as well as large caps today. If we talk about the key movers and shakers and where the gains were coming in from, autos, a very strong part of the market. Banks, which are continuing to see traction and momentum finally. And PSUs, as Prashant also mentioned. So on autos, we talk about the Nifty movers, Hero Moto, Tata Motors, M&M. Excuse me. These were some of the key stocks that found takers today 1 to 2% higher over there. On banks, not so much HDFC, but the others, ICICI Bank, IndusInd, Kotak. These were the banking names that did well today. And then you had support from the big boys like Reliance, ITC. These were the other Nifty heavyweights that kind of added to the tally by the end of it. And PSUs, we'll talk a lot about it as we go forward. But short point is that whatever is the market capitalization, PSU stocks were on fire. On your screen are some of the Nifty PSUs, which all managed to have a very good session for themselves. So that's the day. There's plenty to cover as we go along on the show. We'll start off with all the top movers and tell you all about them. Vivek will join in for that. We talk about the stock of the day, and that is a PSU stock, Hindustan Copper. Hormaz joins in to give us some of the key reasons behind what has been a stupendous move on the stock today. CNBC-TV18's popular segment, D Street Chatter, comes up with Nimesh. He will specifically talk about BHEL, another PSU, and what was behind the buzz, the 6-7% buzz that we saw on BHEL today. Last but not the least, we will delve into all the key events to watch out for tomorrow, the last trading session of 2023. But let's kick it off first with the movers of the day. Vivek with the latest. Vivek.
Well, thank you so much for that. Today, like you mentioned and like we've been mentioning the past week, it's been all about the PSU stocks, the PSE stocks, the CPSE index, all of these indices are the ones that have been doing too well. The PSC names today, also remember today there was the rebal impact as well. So some amount of flows also in quite a few of these names. The PSC index is up 80% in 2023. HPCL, the top gainer, BHEL2, order inflows likely in this particular name, and all of these stocks doing very, very well in the session today. Moving on, when you're talking about the NSE CPSE index, even this particular index is up 75% in 2023. Today, NBCC joined the party again. Order inflow here, Sarojini Nagar project doing quite well. The back of that, this stock to this particular week has been doing quite well. Now, moving on, the other segment that's joined the party in the last few weeks has been the metal stock. We've spoken about Hindustan Copper, we'll speak more about it, but have a look at some of the other names. Nalco up 9%, NMDC almost 3% today. So these stocks too doing quite well. Now moving on, the other stock on the radar is Hutco. Now this particular stock is up almost 24% in the last two trading sessions after the company announced its plans to go ahead and finance 14,500 crore worth of projects, housing as well as infra projects in the state of Gujarat. The other stock on the radar, Tishman Carbogen. The stock up, saw very, very strong volumes, up almost 12%. Volumes at 13 times the last 5-day average. We'll wait and watch if there's any development in this particular name. The other stock on the radar is Sandur Manganese. This particular stock up for the 5th straight session, up 15% in the last 5 trading sessions. And in this year itself, the stock is up 3.5 times. On the other hand, some of the stocks that saw a little bit of selling pressure. First stock was Motisans Jewellers. After stellar listing, the stock is down for the 2nd straight session. IREDA cooling off quite significantly after the highs that the stock saw post-listing, down for the 4th straight session. And lastly, Zomato, on the back of the income tax notice today, saw a little bit of selling pressure as well.
All right, Vivek, thanks very much for that. So that's a comprehensive wrap out of the movers and shakers today. Ambareesh Baliga is with us to take some questions. Ambareesh, good to have you with us here. What's the pick in the PSU space for you?
As of now, you can just point a finger at any of the PSU stocks and you could really find a winner. You're talking of Coal India. I think there's still some more upside. BHEL, after sort of a gap, it's again started moving. So I think another 5 to 8% move from here is very much possible looking at the order flows as far as this is concerned. Look at the oil marketing companies because the way the oil has softened, I think their margins will remain high at least for the next quarter or two. So whether you're talking of HPCL, BPCL, IOC, all of them are a buy at this point of time for possibly again 5 to 8% sort of a move. So I think it's across the PSU space.
That's true. PSUs had a good rally. Ambareesh, while we're talking PSUs, metal stocks in particular in that basket have been doing well. PSU and actually even non-PSU. What thoughts over here? And would you take any fresh exposure to metals, ferrous, non-ferrous?
In fact, non-ferrous, I would possibly look at the aluminum stocks because we are having aluminum prices at a 3-month high. And that's going to clearly reflect in the performance of like Hindalco. So I think that would be my pick at this point of time.
Hindalco. Any thoughts on Hindustan Copper, Ambareesh? I was talking to a large holder of Hindustan Copper earlier, institutional player. And, earnings is not really the story here, or a big pickup in earnings. FY24 is almost done. I'm talking about even FY25. It's just that there's a scarcity premium. Is the only listed pure copper company. You got Hindalco, etc., but that's on the refining side. They are pure miners, so there's only Hindustan Copper. And of course, there is the tailwind, the slightly macro-ish thematic tailwind that copper usage will go up dramatically as we transition to renewables. But that's a global story. So any thoughts?
No, in fact, the price increase for copper, I think, the biggest benefit is to the miner. And I think that should be seen sooner or later as far as Hindustan Copper is concerned. So I think that should play out possibly in the next, 4 to 5 quarters. So even at these levels, I would say may not be buy fresh, but just hold on to whatever you have.
Okay, all right. Incredible moves in many of these names. Now, one more incredible mover, it's NTPC. Usually, a couple of years back, it's a behemoth, right? It's a large company. It's almost a sector in itself, and it would move slowly. But NTPC itself has done so well this year, and over the last couple of months, it continues to do very well. consistently ranking on a day-on-day basis, was one of the top gainers. The company's chairman and managing director, Gurdeep Singh, says that the company will increase capital expenditure by between 30 and 40% going forward. There's also, of course, the sort of hint at listing the renewable arm in the next 1 or 2 years. Vivek is here with a highlight of that commentary. Vivek, over to you.
Well, absolutely. Some very important commentary coming from NTPC, to CNBC-TV18 at the SBI conclave. What are the key highlights? What is the market anticipating, market keenly awaiting? By 2030, the management has said that they are looking to add close to 60 gigawatt of renewable capacity. This is especially important in the context that, a lot of companies have been looking at increasing thermal capacity, while India has been going ahead and advocating, significant capex increase and reduction on thermal capacity. So renewable versus thermal has been the key debate. Now, when you're talking about NTPC, currently they have 3.5 gigawatt of commission capacity, that is renewable commission capacity. He said that 7.5 gigawatt is now under construction. Now, this ties in very well with what the management said at the end of Q2. They said that they expect 15 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by FY26 versus the 3.5 gigawatt that they hold currently. In the next 1 to 2 years, this is the most important aspect of the conversation. The company, earlier, which was looking at unlocking value either via an IPO route or via a stake sale in the renewable energy arm, they have now given a more definitive timeline. In the next 1 to 2 years, as they have more capacity under the renewable energy arm, they will be looking at, going ahead and listing that particular arm as well. And lastly, capex, very strong capex guidance. They've gone ahead and said they will increase capex by 30 to 40% annually every year. So very strong commentary coming in, especially in terms of capacity addition on the renewable energy side.
Our capex has been in the range of around 25,000 crore, kind of thing. Going forward, it is going to increase, and it is going to increase at least by 30-40%. By 2030, we will be adding on the renewable side 60 gigawatt. So today we are having 3.5 gigawatt, which is commissioned. 7.5 gigawatt is under construction. So it's almost every month something capacity is getting commissioned.
Okay, so there's a prospect of value unlocking in the coming year or years with the renewable arm getting listed. And then, of course, there's growth in the base business itself, the thermal business. Let's bring in Nagaraj Shetti into the conversation as well. Nagaraj, good that you could join in. We want your take on the index itself. I mean, the trades you'd look at, and specifically on NTPC. It's had a dream run like a lot of other PSU stocks, up 90% this year. But the question is, should one be buying fresh now?
Hi, good afternoon, Surbi. NTPC has been in a sharp up move recently, and we have seen the stock is consolidating at the higher levels. Currently, the stock, after the small decline, has been regained its upside momentum and continuously moving up. The overall chart pattern is looking positive. I think there is a possibility of some more upside in the near term. It has been taking support of initial 10-day EMA and continuously moving up. Higher tops, higher bottom is that today's sub was backed by a rise in the volume. Overall chart pattern is looking positive. In between, there is a consolidation and it is taking out. The overall chart pattern is positive. I'm expecting this to move towards the next overhead resistance of around 325, 330 levels in the near term.
Okay, Nagaraj, got that. That's NTPC. Market itself, good for more, briefly?
Yeah, of course, market has been a tremendous strength, continuously moving up. We have seen Nifty sustainably moving above the hurdle of around 21,650 levels. I'm expecting, as per the projection I mentioned yesterday, I'm expecting Nifty to reach towards the next overhead resistance of around 22,000 to 22,200 levels in the next 1 week.
Let me just circle back to, Nagaraj, I'll come to you, circle back and tell you about Hindustan Copper, right? That clearly was one of the large movers with a 15% gain today. We just want to put the spotlight on it in terms of what really happened. Horma's actually looked at the data, the numbers, the gains, and a bit about the fundamental backdrop as well. He's here with it. Horma, take it away.
It's a staggering move on Hindustan Copper, not only today, but across the month of December as well. The stock is not only up 13% today, but it has gained almost 50% now in the month of December itself. And quite unsurprisingly, this is the best month that the stock has had this year, but it has also the best month since the February of 2021. Now, that was no ordinary month either, because in that month the stock was up 150%. So in this year, the stock has gained in 10 out of the last, in the 12 months, the stock has gained in 10 of them. So far, the stock is up nearly 150%, and this makes it the best calendar year performance that the stock has had since 2009. So kind of shows the kind of moves that it has had. In the last 5 years, the stock has given positive returns in 3 of them, and the years that in which it has given positive returns, it is anywhere between 50% to 150%, which is this year. Now, in today's session, over 9 crore shares have already been traded, which is the highest ever for Hindustan Copper. Never before has it has seen those kind of volumes, and since December the 15th, the stock has seen nearly 35 crore shares traded. When compared to the first 15 days of December, the daily average was around 1 crore shares. Now, on the charts as well, the stock gave a breakout above its 50 DMA, which was on the 13th of November. It closed above that level of 154, and since then the stock is up 60% from those levels. But it was in a channel between 120 to 200. It was a 2-year consolidation that it had, and it broke above that on the 18th of December when it closed above that mark of 190, and since then the stock has been on an uptrend. On the valuation front, on the FY23 EPS, it's at 3 rupees a share, and at current price it is trading at almost 83 times price to earnings on the current valuations. There's reported a profit for the last 10 quarters now on the financials. The margins have hovered between 30 to 32%. But what is working for the company now that it's a pure copper play, and with all the EV trends that we are seeing, I read in a report that electric vehicle requires 83 kgs of copper compared to just 29 kgs for a 23 kgs for a conventional vehicle. And copper prices this year in general have gained around 2.5%. They were at around $8,000 at the end of last year. Now they are at 8,600, and most brokerages are projecting a bullish stance for 2024 as well, with JP Morgan projecting a $9,000 target, while Citi has a $10,000 price target for copper prices. So all in all, it's been the year for Hindustan Copper, and the stock well and truly surging higher in today's session.
Absolutely, it is. Thank you, Hormaz, very much for all the fundamental inputs over there. Nagaraj, whether Hindustan Copper or NTPC, I mean, we discussed that one. But in general, if you were to take a fresh trade and purchase something in the PSU basket, what stock would you look at?
I would have gone for NTPC, because if you look at the NTPC, it has been a gradual upside momentum, and we have seen minor declines in between, and the stock has taken out on the upper side. But if you look at the Hindustan Copper, it has witnessed an amazing rally. Risk reward is not really looking attractive at this point of time. What we can observe, a 57% of up move in 1 month is, I think we have to see some correction at the higher levels. At the same time, 280, 285, 290 levels, there is a strong hurdle placed for Hindustan Copper. There is a possibility of some reasonable downward correction from the higher levels. If you look at the risk and reward ratio, I would go for NTPC among these two.
Okay, all right, Nagaraj, we will leave it on that note. Thank you very much for joining in. We'll also thank Ambareesh on that note for taking all the questions today. Let's move on now and get you the top corporate voices of the session. JSW Steel is planning to increase capacity to 50 million tons by the end of the decade, and an additional capex of over 1 lakh crore rupees. So that's the word coming in from the management.
So that's JSW Steel, but we also spoke with the management of Muthoot Finance. Now, the gold financier expects AUM growth of 15% in FY24. And actually, I mean, that's 15% target. Between 15 and 20% is the target for the next couple of years as well. They aim to maintain margins at around 10%, plus minus 5 or 10 basis points. So that's a gold financier. We also spoke with the management of Electronics Mart of India. EMIL is the code. Stocks done well recently. And they told us that they aim to achieve 20% growth on a yearly basis from here. The big plans to go deeper into the Delhi NCR market.
Okay, so those are some of the top corporate voices of the day. We do have to take a quick break on that note, but we come back on the other side and tell you all the latest buzz that came in from the dealing rooms today in D Street Chatter, and then, of course, the events to watch tomorrow.
CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence. CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.
Welcome back. You're with us on Markets Forward. And as promised, let's now head across to Nimesh for the D Street chatter, all the buzz from dealing rooms. Nimesh, so what, one day to go for the year to end, and the Nifty is absolutely on a breathtaking run. What buzz did you pick up today?
Oh, well, it's a party time out there, right? I mean, another 100 points rally or 200 points rally on the Nifty, and again led by the PSU stocks. So PSU has been a big outperformer this year, and that's the case today as well. In terms of individual names, the first stock on my list is BHEL. Big move on that stock and on large volumes as well. And the city is anticipating a large order win for the company very soon. That's keeping the stock exciting. The second stock is Dushman Carbogen. That stock was buzzing in trade on the back of large HNI flows. I understand the company. The anticipation is that maybe there could be a resolution for one of the key plans very soon from the regulators. So that's keeping the stock exciting. The third stock is ICICI Bank. In the last hour of trade, there was a big buying as well. I understand there was a market close FI buying, and that led to a big rally in the last hour of trade in ICICI Bank in today's trade. And the last is a couple of large block deals where I'm expecting very soon. The first name is Data Patterns, big block expected there, and the others like Kolte Patil as well as on Fortis Healthcare.
All right, Nimesh, interesting list as always. Markets keeping all of us busy. Blocks expected. That list is interesting. Nimesh, thanks very much for that. Now, the IPO market is also red hot. Azad Engineering is the latest, which has made its debut on Dalal Street. 37% premium, and then did more. The company is a global manufacturer for energy, aerospace, defense, oil and gas sectors. We spoke with the management earlier today. Just a quick snippet of that conversation.
The current capacity, the current facility, the current everything what is currently today is good till FY25. We do not have to invest much now, and we do not have to do any kind of things till FY25. The new facility which is coming up will be an incremental sales from FY26. So that's good buffer we have got, and this is just a phase one. Those rolling purchase orders amount from between 350 crores is again the capacity what we have between 300 350 crores. I don't have the right number at the moment in my head. So this is where the numbers keep rolling up, and as you increase the capacity, this rolling numbers will increase.
Okay, that was a good listing from Azad Engineering. Before we wrap out, it's time to tell you about the important events you can watch out for tomorrow. Abhishek is standing by with the latest. Abhishek.
Well, to begin with, tomorrow will be the last day of calendar year 2023 with respect to trading session. However, it will also be the first day of trading session for the first series, that is futures and options for the new year. So another data to track will be the home sales in USA, banking sector business momentum, that is advances and deposits, along with the fact that M3 growth will be seen over there, and forex reserve data that will be also keenly watched. Core industries data that will come out at 5 p.m. There are few public holidays with respect to market in United Kingdom and New Zealand that will be on holiday. Listing tomorrow, there will be Innova Captab Limited listing on NSE. It was subscribed a massive 55.3 times. Corporate actions, Canfin Homes interim dividend to be considered tomorrow at ₹2 per share. Ugro Capital, they will consider fundraise via NCD. And investor meet, Global Spirits will be meeting Longbow India Capital as well. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Abhishek, for that. So last day of last trading session for 2023, but I think that list tells you that it's going to be a busy day.
It's been a busy week. I mean, who would have thought with the market doing what it is doing? We'll catch you with all the action tomorrow. For now, thank you very much for joining in.
CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.